Mold Tool is the official sponsor of the Grease and Glamour podcast. Established in 1853, Mold Tool has grown to become a recognized leader in lubricant technology. Racing teams around the world have trusted Mold Tool to deliver the endurance and performance needed to compete at the highest level. Even if you're not racing on the track, Mold Tool's full range of synthetic lubricants will protect your engine against wear and tear of your daily commute. Stop by Universal Imports to purchase Mold Tool's line of products today.
All right.
Right on.
Oh, I hate the Matthew McConaughey.
That's the Matthew McConaughey.
Hate it.
I know. That's why I do it. I mean, it really is annoying, right?
It's so annoying.
I know.
Well, he doesn't look sexy driving a Lincoln with
Doesn't do anything.
Purple
Doesn't talk.
plumes of smoke behind him. And
Yeah,
hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, it's good, but I still don't understand that whole thing. Like, people are watching, like, oh, I got to get one of those cars because he says that. Like, no, he doesn't drive one of those. He doesn't. Not really.
So for
They
anybody
gave him one,
out
but
there
it's in his
who's
garage.
listening and wondering about the teasers, this is the episode, the grand poobah of podcast episodes.
And thank goodness, because we couldn't live with you any longer having to hold this secret.
I know.
Because it was really, speaking of Matthew McConaughey, annoying.
Today on the show, we have none other than Mario Andretti. Let me repeat that. Let that sink in. Mario Andretti. Okay. So the Grease and Glamour podcast is a sidearm of Universal Imports of Rochester. UniversalImports.com. It's where you can go to find your next car. You can call Aaron. You can call myself. We will help you find exactly what you're looking for. If you need service on your car, we have a wonderful service department with all master technicians that are here to help. I would say 24/7, but we're not quite there yet. But we're here most hours of the day and on Saturdays, and we have loaner service and shuttle service, and we have a body shop, and we have everything you need for your car. So visit universalimports.com for any of that.
Car repairs can get expensive. That's why Universal Imports has got you covered with their exclusive Car Care Club. For an annual investment of just $49, you can save hundreds with a free New York State inspection, $10 off oil changes, 10% off labor, $50 off alignments, and so much more. Visit universalimports.com or visit 834 Linden Avenue, right off 441.
Let my family take care of your family's automobiles. Visit universalimports.com to join our Car Care Club today. Anyway, in a few minutes here, we're going to be getting on the phone with Mario Andretti all the way from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, where he resides. And he's going to talk to us about, let's run a couple things down, okay? 111 career wins. 111. This guy's been racing since the mid-'60s or early '60s, all the way through the mid-'90s, and winning all along. And then has a son who is a winning racer, has another son who is a winning racer, has a grandson who is a winning racer, has a twin brother who was a racer.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about dynasties in football, I think the dynasty is bigger in race car with the Andretti family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is it.
Right.
Amazing.
It's a household name.
Yeah.
So, and we're lucky enough to have him on the show. So before we get into that, and while we're waiting here for them to call, what else is new?
You know, holidays are fast approaching, and it's not snowing this
It's not snowing
podcast.
right now.
Yeah, knock on wood. What if it's snowing in? Where does he live?
He's in Nazareth, PA.
Oh yeah, what if it's
which is right
snowing
next
there?
to Bethlehem, PA. Wonder if there's any relationship why they called it Bethlehem and Nazareth.
See, when I think of Nazareth, I think of
You think of the rock band.
I think of the band. I'm just a heathen.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Surprise!
Oh yeah, but Oh, we going to the mall, doing all the Christmas shopping stuff.
You still go to the mall, really?
I like to support local stores because I don't want to do everything online 20 years from now or even 5 years from now.
I just go online and get gift cards.
Oh, see, I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
a gift
see, I don't
card
do
guy.
that, no.
I'm not a gift card
I mean,
guy.
they're supplemental when you have a family because you're like, oh, we got to even it up somehow. Oh, yeah, that one got too much. I'll give them less. Then you even it up with some gift cards, and you're like, okay, good. We feel it's you make yourself feel good about it. But the whole mall thing, I don't know, Mark.
Stay away.
I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of local businesses there at the mall.
You can't get Annie Ann's online.
That's really not a Christmas gift, Mark. That's
It
pretzels.
is for me.
Yeah. So hence, let's really talk about what this is about.
You cannot get Hickory Farms.
Probably can get it
munch
online.
on a summer sausage and some crackers while you're shopping online.
Yeah. So you're really not supporting anybody local. You're supporting yourself.
Yes. Well,
Okay. Well, thank you.
What it all
Listen,
comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Let's just clarify for a minute because I'm thinking, goes to the mall. Like that's the one place during the holidays you cannot get me or my wife to not even. We don't even want to go like a month before or after. It's like no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, thanks to Motul Motor Oils for sponsoring the show and these types of things allow us to seek out some of the best in different industries. And when I thought about, I really wanted to, after we did Ford versus Ferrari, I was like, oh man, I'd love to just talk to some of these racers. And obviously the first racer that probably comes into most people's minds when you think of auto racing is Mario Andretti, right?
Yep.
You got your Dale Earnhardt, your Mario Andretti, your Al Unsers, your these guys, you think of them. And, as luck would have it, a little bit of persistence, and it didn't take a lot, actually. Mario is such a humble guy that we were granted the interview pretty easily, but took a little time, and I had to keep my mouth kind of shut for a while. But here it is, our interview with Mario Andretti. Enjoy.
Hi, Mark.
Mario Andretti, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you?
Wonderful, thanks. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much for spending some time with us on this. I don't know, you're down in Pennsylvania, if it's as gray and gloomy down there today as it is up here in Rochester, New York, but...
Beautiful day, actually. Today, a bit nippy, but nice and sunny. So
nice and sunny. All right, well, maybe it's coming up north.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll give you this, yeah.
Well...
Just don't send me what you have down here.
I promise. We'll keep it up here. We'll send it over Lake Ontario.
That's it. They need it.
My very first question for you, Mario, I have to ask this because this has been on my mind since I talked to Patty, and that is, you are auto racing royalty. And my first question for you is, do you collect royalties every time a spouse looks at their significant other and says, slow down, who do you think you are, Mario Andretti?
Yeah, well, I get yelled now and then, or at least I used to, but so far we've been lucky enough to be pretty safe.
Yeah, I mean, you're just synonymous with racing. I think there's even a story of you, you were with a friend sometime and got pulled over, and the policeman even told your friend that, who do you think you are, Mario Andretti?
Yeah, actually, I was in California. It was Vince Granatelli. I was visiting the shop in Santa Monica, and anyway, and actually, he was driving. He was driving a Chevelle with a supercharged engine. They used to do all those mods there, and so he's trying to impress me, and he cheated a light a little bit, but he just flew across, and anyway, he gets pulled over. It was at the weekend of the, I think there was the Long Beach Grand Prix. That's why I was out there, and so anyway, but I saved him a ticket somehow.
Did you have to exchange an autograph for that ticket?
No, but the guy actually didn't believe I had to show him my license. He wasn't very much up on the sport, but he He knew my name, but he didn't know what I looked like.
Well, it was kind of funny when Jamie. So, by the way, on the podcast with us today is Jay Lawrence and Aaron Kane. They're my partners in crime here. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello again.
Hi, Jay. Hi, yeah.
And when Jamie received the phone call from you on the phone, it actually says Mario Andretti. I said, who can say that? They see on their phone, Mario Andretti's calling.
Thought it was great. It's good to see it.
Mario, could you maybe, we've discussed prior to the phone call, we discussed with our listeners sort of all of your achievements, and we kind of laid that out in the best way we could in the time that we had in the introduction. But is there, could you give us a defining moment in your mind, whether it's with your career or your personal life, that really stands out to you that you can share with us?
Well, I think I'll go with a career. On the personal side, I've had so many great moments, quite honestly.
Sure.
But they're very personal. And I think career-wise, when I look back, the opportunity that I had to be on the same track at the same level, top-level Indy cars, with three other members of my family, two of my kids and my nephew John. Believe it or not, that really stands pretty strong, for me, as far as one of the things that, I can truly appreciate. I mean, believe me, I've been blessed, because I think I probably achieved more of my goals than I actually deserve. But out of true love and passion, is what I, is why I kept going. And also where I've been spared, of injury. That's something that was not very common, for many decades in my career. But anyway,
such a dangerous sport. Yeah,
got away with it. Yeah, I got away with a lot of it. I think my son Michael was also blessed in that respect. My twin brother Aldo wasn't so lucky, and neither was my younger son Jeff. But so that brings to bear how the reality of the game.
Right. One of the things that really gravitates to me is the family element that's in your story, and with Michael and Jeff and your grandson Marco and your nephew and your brother, with your kids, was it inherent in your kids that they were going to race, or was it just sort of the natural order because they had been around racing their whole childhood?
I think pretty much the latter is sort of Aldo and I started this mess. I gravitated to the kids only because this is the environment that they grew up in, and so let's face it, at age of 9, I put both my kids in a go-kart and say, okay, have at it, see if you like it. We do a little racing and see if you like it. If you don't, that's fine. But what was I to do? And they, Michael especially, I mean, he took like a duck to water. Amazing, and then we go back and like I said, as a family, when you look back at the moments that we've had, like in IndyCar, not too many people know this record, but in IndyCar, Michael and I were on podium 15 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were on the front row of an IndyCar race 10 times and finished 1, 2, 5 times. I don't know. I wound up to be 5, 10, and 15, but that's a fact.
Make sure you use those numbers when you play the lottery, right?
Yeah, I know. And I look back at 1986, the Pocono 500. Jeff, younger son Jeff, was driving like it was the Indy Lights, called the ARS at the time, supporting event, and he was on pole for that, and he won that race on a Saturday. Michael was on pole for the 500, and I won the 500. Between the three of us, We just cleaned house that weekend. I mean, nobody wrote about it. You know what I mean? It's just, did we celebrate? You're darn right. Stuff like that. So as a family, and was it 93, 90, I don't know when it was, 92 or something, where in Milwaukee was Michael first, nephew John second, I was third in the IndyCar race there.
Oh.
So, again, when I look back at those moments, I mean, oh my God. I mean, talk about rewards.
So with that Indy 500 win, I was watching an interview with you, and you said it was a triumph of fate. What did you mean by that, really?
Well, what I meant by that is that we started out with the, very sophisticated equipment. For the moment was a derivative of the turbine cars fielded by, Lotus, Colin Chapman, and Andy Granatelli the year before. Only this time, instead of turbine engines, we had the Ford double overhead cam, turbocharged. And we thought that, looking at the speeds, looking at, how fast we were practicing, that car was going to be, the car to beat. And then 2 days before qualifying, which, by the way, the first weekend was rained out, so that's all we had was the second weekend. But 2 days before qualifying, I was doing a race run, with more fuel, and Lord and behold, that the car showed its weakness. That a hub on the right rear just sheared, and I had a huge crash in turn 4, which I don't know. I got out of it okay, some burns and so forth, but then all day we had so much time to do some race runs on the other side. The other team of Colin Chapman with Graham Hill and Jochen Rindt, they had some issues. Graham Hill had a slight crash, but it could have been pretty bad. So they decided to withdraw those cars. That's 2 days before qualifying.
Wow.
And so what do we had? I had 2 Lotuses, and then we entered the Bronner Hawk, just as to get an extra garage, really, not to race it. And so anyway, I had a day and a half to get the car ready to qualify, and we put on the front row. Now, the reason that I said what I said was because if we wouldn't have crashed, there's no way that car would have finished. That's what I'm saying. And if you look back, what was frustrating for me is that that's only the second race that I finished after my rookie year in '65. And up to then, like '66, '67, I was on pole. I could have had 2 of the easiest races in my career to win. The car was so good. And dropped out early. One, we burned a piston right at the beginning, and the other one, right front wheel came off.
So it is, I mean, certainly not to take away from, of course, the skill and the talent, but there is sometimes just that, what day are you going to be lucky when it comes to a car or something like that?
Weather conditions or something.
Yeah, a lot of things. I mean, we talk about luck. Okay, luck is an abstract. How do you quantify that? But there's got to be an element of luck somewhere, and
or divine guidance.
Obviously, divine guidance. Well, I can't blame him.
Yeah, that usually doesn't end well.
Because he helped me a lot. He kept me in one piece. So,
well, that's
somewhere along the line.
That's a good lead into my next question, and that is, there are many great drivers out there, but none really, when you break it down, with a resume like yours. What do you think makes the difference, especially in such a dangerous sport? In other words, what's it take to be Mario Andretti?
Well, a lot of a burning desire to do what you love beyond anything else, and you have no idea how badly I wanted to be a race driver right from the beginning of the life that I could reason, uh, and and it started out at the time where it was possibly one of the wildest dreams that was like potentially impossible, but. It's just one of those. And when the opportunity started coming around after we came to the States, this beautiful country just gave me that opportunity to start pursuing, what I wanted from the beginning. And then I could never get enough. If you look at my record, in races, you know, I used to. I mean, even when I won the world championship, I won two IndyCar races for Roger Penske, and I won the IROC championship that year. So I couldn't get enough, even though I was forbidden to drive for any other team or any other series by contract. And I remember calling Chapman. We were in Silverstone, and we were testing early in the week, and we had a weekend off in Formula One, and I said, I got to get going. Where are you going? I said, go back to the States. I said, I'm racing with Roger. He says, you can't do that. I said, I know, but I will. So, it's one of those things. But I did whatever I wanted to, regardless of contract, because I wasn't going to argue. Whenever, we negotiated a contract, I wasn't going to argue the fact, okay, they want, all of you. They want to own you.
Well, I mean, that's the thing in this. I think in any industry and probably in sports, there's a lot of it, and that is there's a lot that goes on. There's as much, if not more, that goes on off the track than on the track when it comes to building your career. And like you said, sometimes it's a matter of knowing what you want and going for it, even when others tell you, no, you can't do that.
Well, exactly. I mean, here's the point. There was no one was going to determine, what my career was going to be, what I'm going to be driving. No one could actually give me enough, give me enough money to buy me out, and to have it to themselves. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I did exactly. I hear a lot today, a lot of, some of the drivers get, why won't you do something else or, on the side? And I hear, well, the contract doesn't allow it. Well, neither did mine, but, so it's just one of those things. And fortunately I was in a, pretty good position of strength, so what are you going to do? Okay, you're going to fire me? I'm doing a fairly good job, so that's really the way I looked at it, but to be honest with you, I just, I was never satisfied enough, and luckily, I had an angel of a wife, that she was not a race fan by any means, because she never knew anything about racing, even when we met. But she's one that sort of sucked it up, quite honestly, and knew how much I really loved and she supported me, in every possible way. And I think, again, if I wouldn't have had that support, I don't think a lot of things would have happened.
Yep.
So it was unconditional support, quite honestly.
It's like they say, behind every great man, there's a better woman.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely.
When you talk about your burning desire to be in racing, it goes all, and we talked about this earlier in the podcast before we got you on the phone, and that was, how your life started. You grew up in just at the end of World War II, going into it was like a refugee camp in Lucca, Italy, correct?
Right, correct.
And then from there, that's where sort of the racing thing, the car thing started. You and your brother started getting into cars in the town in Lucca. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we when we when we moved out of our home in Istria, I was 8 years old, and so when I was about 10, 11 is when the bug really started biting pretty hard, and believe it or not, so Aldo and I used to just hang out in a garage just across the street from the camp where it was, and they used to the owners befriended us, and they actually liked us, and we were marveled over the cars that they were parking and working on, and it was very popular parking spot because of Luca, the way it is. Parking is not very good in the town, and so I used to marvel over this Alfa Romeos and Lancias, and little by little, they let us start driving, and driving is Fiat Topolinos, the little ones. And then by the time it was all over, by the time we were like age 14, we were doing burnouts with some of these customer cars. And that's why
I'm not the only one that did burnouts.
I have a hell of a time valeting my car because I'm thinking, what we used to do with. Well, we never dinged them though, but
I'd like to be the guy that gets Mario Andretti as my valet.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I learned how to do standing starts in Formula One. I said I had a pretty good feel about grip.
Well, I think what's also very interesting about you, aside from the racing career, which there's no shortage of things to talk about when it comes to your career in IndyCar, Formula One. You've raced just about everything: stock cars, NASCAR, kind of everything. And now,
track,
yeah, and now you have you're doing the IndyCar experience. You have the two-seater IndyCar that you take people out for a ride and go 200 miles an hour around a track with them.
Yeah.
And how often do people get an opportunity to do that with you?
Well, again, I'm loving that side of it. I think with the Indy experience, with the Honda, has a program there, and of course I'm there, the entire weekend, and they have slots, where we take press and we take and just regular fans, for rides as much as possible.
Couple big celebrities too.
At Indy itself, at Indy itself, that we put together. I'm driving somewhere around 700 to 800 miles that entire month.
Oh,
it's because almost every day before before qualifying that weekend. That week, I'm there for 2 hours, every day driving. And then on a Wednesday after qualifying, I do all day from 9 to 5, flat out with about 15, 20 minutes, for lunch. I have a sandwich. And I'm just loving that, because I'm testing myself, my physical side, and everything's cool. So I'm liking that opportunity.
So in addition to the racing and everything, so you also have a vineyard. Was wine always a passion for you?
Well, I don't know if it was always a passion for me. It's just something that was part of the family. My dad obviously, not obviously, but he did own, quite a bit of land, and he had, and a lot of it was, obviously, bottling his own wines, and not that made a difference, but what it did is gave me some appreciation for that. The wine is, and I started appreciating it more when I got into my late 20s, quite honestly. And then after I came out of the cockpit, one thing led to another. It's a long story, but in a weak moment of my life, I decided to get into the wine business in Upper Valley.
A little bit of a slower pace type of thing.
Yeah. It's but it works. I'm there's a lot of pride in that. I'm just so fortunate. I get a great winemaker, and And again, it's really a nice little facility that we're very proud of, and it has grown nicely, So it's very popular out there. We get a lot of traffic from all over the world. Obviously they have tourists from all over the world to visit that area, and they do come see us.
Well, I really should tell people, I should tell our audience that they can visit AndrettiWine.com, and there you can order your cases of wine. And
Cases?
Cases, yeah. I mean, if you're going to go big, right?
I guess.
Yeah, preferably cases, yeah.
And then, but before you drink the wine, you go on the, you go to AndrettiRacing.com or IndyRacingExperience.com and get your track stuff done and then drink the wine. That's probably a better idea. I watched that video. I've seen it. I remember it when I was a kid. You were at Watkins Glen a lot. We would go down to Watkins Glen. My parents had an opportunity to meet you there. I had an opportunity to meet you a couple times out at the SEMA show. And, another podcast you were on, I don't know how recently, but the podcaster said it best, and that is you don't always want to meet your heroes because you don't know what you're going to get. But in the case of meeting Mario Andretti, you really are one of the nicest people in this industry. I think it's a well-known fact that you are just a very approachable, very nice person to be able to just go right up to and have a conversation with. And we're so grateful that you are interested in talking to us for here a few minutes. So I know you're limited on time, so I want to just ask a couple more questions here, and we'll let you get on with your evening. But a few weeks ago, we did a podcast on the Ford versus Ferrari movie, and I'm not sure if you had a chance to see that movie yet. We did. You were interviewed in the Adam Carolla special, the 24-Hour War, and I know that you were kind of, you had raced 24-hour Le Mans, I think, in '66.
Yeah, that was my first. My first Le Mans event. Yeah, in '66.
And that was with McLaren, right? Were you with McLaren in that one?
No, Ford. It was a Ford. Oh yeah, no. In '66, I was Reduce and Bianchi.
Okay. So you drove a Ford in 24-hour Le Mans, but you also drove for Ferrari, not in 24 hours, but you did, I think, Sebring, a couple others with Ferrari.
6 hours and 1,000 Ks.
So did you like driving a Ford better or a Ferrari?
Anything you could win with.
Good answer.
So the first 24-hour race I ever did was that year in '66, and I was driving with Pedro Rodriguez, and that was a Ferrari, but it was not the factory. It was Luigi Chinetti, was a North American racing team, which was the importer of Ferrari. A great guy, by the way. In fact, Chinetti, I think, won Le Mans as a driver way back when. But anyway, so I did drive a Ferrari in a 24-hour. That was the only 24-hour that I did with Ferrari, however. And anyway, but I was able to. I got a drive with Ford. The best part about that is that I wanted to do as much testing as possible because I wanted to get into Formula One, and there were not too many other opportunities, especially driving IndyCar. So I expressed a desire to be part of all of the testing, and in '66 they gave me that opportunity, and so I was there. Like that's what the movie is about, and I know. It's difficult for me to critique a racing movie. The same thing as Rush. You look at the entertainment side. I think is great. Yep. It's awesome. I think the cast of characters. I think the acting is superb. No question. The reality of some of the events is not 100% there, and that's where I have a tough time. Specifically, when you're telling a story, you should be a little more accurate,
Right.
Oh.
And
Does that sound
and
familiar,
that's the
guys?
problem I have with Rush as well, So that's what it is. But as far as entertaining, the movie being entertaining, I recommend it all day.
It's funny because Jamie, when we did that podcast, Jamie's like, I just don't think Enzo Ferrari was that mean in that office, and
he was not. He was totally misrepresented.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
but
Mario.
honestly, I think Henry Ford was not that much of a jerk either. So
yeah, they made they really villainized both of those guys in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
they,
the story was good, but all that other stuff, I was like, I'm not sure that's real. I can't wait to talk to somebody who will confirm my suspicions.
The story was good, but also, Ken Miles was not. I mean, as animated. I mean, Christian did a great job, in acting and so on and so
Sure.
forth. But the real character of Ken Miles, as I remember him, because I did some testing alongside of him and so forth. It was quite a bit different.
Well, they have to. They have to character.
I guess you got to make it more interesting.
Sure.
He was not. He was much calmer than that.
Well, I want to tell all of our listeners that they should check out your NBC Sports documentary, Drive Like Andretti. It's a great documentary. Really talks about your early life in Italy and your move to the States and how your career just built and your family. You have a beautiful family, by the way. And it really just highlights all the aspects of Mario's life, including the winery. So I encourage all of our listeners to watch that video. If you're so bold, you should go to a track that Mario is going to be and hop in the back seat of an Indy car. No?
Nope, I'm
JD's
good.
not doing it.
Nope, I'll watch.
Yeah. I got to wonder, what is it like if you have to sneeze when you're doing 200 miles an hour?
Well, actually, you got to do it before, so you're okay.
And you probably one of the other quick questions I really just want to kind of check off the list here is when you watch the video of your flip in 2003. And I've listened to so many different ways that you explained how that happened, where the car caught air because of the debris in the road, and you flipped and you landed on your wheels and came away with almost without a scratch, almost. Can you remember what was going through your head through that? Did it feel like a lifetime or did it feel like a second?
Well, I know it feels like forever, when you're doing that, and I felt, oh my God, now it's my time, but I guess there was no vacancy up there, so I was spared again, and thankful for that, quite honestly.
Yep. Another triumph of fate, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, indeed.
So, well, Mario, I can speak for the three of us in this room, and I know all of our listeners. You're an inspiration to everybody, not just because of your impeccable racing career, but just who you are as a person. And we are
You're very kind.
Thankful and blessed that you were on our show today, and we'll make sure you get a copy of this podcast. So, what's your daily driver?
Well, I have a ZR1 Corvette, 2019, and I have a Lamborghini Aventador.
Very nice.
I treat myself. I love my sports cars, and
I can understand.
Back around with.
Yeah, I was curious. I'm like, what does Mario drive to the grocery store? And now we know.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, Mario, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. We'll make sure you get a copy of the podcast. And for all of our listeners out there, please go to the number of websites that Mario Andretti has out there for his racing, for his wine. I'm making a push to get more places here in Rochester to have your wine, because I know in one of the podcasts you had mentioned, Constellation Brands and trying to put something together with them at some point. They're a Rochester company, so maybe I'll go knock on their door.
You better talk to them.
I will.
You better talk to them, Mark.
Better give the Sands a call.
I'm gonna, but then I'm gonna want at least one free case of wine.
You get it. You got it.
Mario, thank you so much.
Yeah, name your varietal. Well, thanks, guys. And
Have
Merry Christmas.
afternoon.
Happy Good Year to all of you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy New Year
Christmas.
to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Andretti.
Right on.
Need I say more?
Yeah. How much more do you got to say?
Seriously, a super sincere, awesome guy. When you go to the SEMA show, and I know we've talked about it on a couple of the last podcasts, but there's a handful of automotive celebrities at SEMA, one of which is Mario Andretti, and he's there pretty much every year. There's a line down the hall to get a handshake and an autograph from Mario Andretti.
Oh, he's it.
And he'll handshake and autograph every single last one.
Wow.
And he'll do it with a smile on his face. And he's so accessible and he's Mario Andretti.
Well, all I'm going to say is I'm glad that Mario Andretti agrees with me about the movie. Oh, I felt vindicated as you two ripped me for my opinion. However, I probably didn't say it as nice as he did.
Yeah, I know.
That's probably
Said it
it.
in a much nicer way.
But all I'm saying is me and him were on the same page. Thank you, Mario.
Yeah. So, anyway, I hope that you all enjoy the Grease and Glamour podcast. We're always working hard to find really exciting material to bring to you. So, maybe the next one's going to be on how to change your washer fluid, but then we'll have another great
every once in a while
interview.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Andretti, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I can say. And until our next podcast, which will be after Christmas, this was our Christmas present to you, our interview with Mario Andretti. So thank you to all the Andretti team. Visit, what are those websites again? Let me get those out.
It's in a book.
Yeah. AndrettiWinery.com, AndrettiRacing.com, IndyRacingExperience.com. Check out the NBC Sports Drive Like Andretti documentary.
Yep.
It's awesome. Check out the 24-Hour War documentary by one of my podcast heroes, Adam Carolla. That's a awesome documentary too. If you really want to get the true scoop on the Ford versus Ferrari,
a much better version than the movie,
yeah.
as I said.
The movie's still good.
Oh yeah, for entertainment.
But
It's
just
great.
understand
It's
it's a movie.
Yep.
We hope everybody that listens to our podcast is going to have an absolutely wonderful holiday. And until then, see you next time.
See you.